So we're coming back from date night, and we were discussing a complaint that a lot of men have is my wife will never initiate. My girlfriend will never initiate. And you've talked to women about this.
I have.
What would surprise most of the men to know?
So I'm not sure where to start with this one, because I feel like, I hear a lot of men say in response to the things that women say is, well, I have to deal with that too.
Okay.
So a lot of women will say things like, I'm fearful of the rejection. They don't know how to initiate without interrupting him, or sometimes they don't initiate because it's not worth it for them because they don't really get anything out of it. Well,
and if you've got no skills in the bedroom, that's a deficiency on the man. Of course, I'm blaming men again, but I don't care. You got to have skills.
Yeah.
And again, you've never been taught this. You have to go out on your own and learn. She Comes First is a great book, guys, unless you're already orally proficient. But here's what I have learned. If you make her lose count of how many orgasms she's had, she's a hell of a lot more receptive to A, any and all play, and B, yet to meet a woman when you take that approach, focusing on her pleasure, that it wasn't reciprocated.
Right.
100% never had that not be the case.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying you focus on her pleasure at the expense of yours, because one, I'm wired that way. Two, that's not what I'm saying, because you both win this way.
Right.
And now, I have seen where women have talked about they got all dressed up in lingerie, came down the stairs, and literally he was reading a newspaper, doing something, and he wouldn't stop. See, that's what we would call an idiot.
Well, one of the common ones I hear is he was playing a video game. I've heard women say, I don't get it. Video games don't do things that I'll do. That was, wow, it almost came out of my mouth. But video games don't do the things I'll do.
Video games don't suck things, do they?
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
So, and I want to go, I've done other videos where I've talked about women have responsive desire, men are more spontaneous. This is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about women have been raised and told men only want one thing.
Right.
So how mentally challenging is it to be rejected by a man or ignored or mocked or whatever? And we see a lot of reports where when a man expresses that he's not interested in a woman, this is out in public.
Oh, yeah.
They lose their minds a lot of times because they're not used to being rejected, and they think that no man would say no. So when a man isn't interested, we see a lot of cases where that's not handled well. Now, move it to an intimate relationship.
Right. We do kind of need to adjust expectations or understandings of what rejection is for women. I think that more women need to kind of understand what it is and what it isn't. But yeah, you're right. Move that to an intimate relationship. And when you are told that men are only interested in one thing, even if you don't believe this, okay, it's internalized. And then you initiate and he rejects. Oh my God, I'm not even good for that?
That'd be kind of hard, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And we had this discussion. So we started date night. We flipped date night around. So
makes for a very happy evening.
Yes. With a full stomach, nobody wants to. Let's face it, fooling around is the last thing on your mind. Start with the play, okay? But lost my train of thought.
You were thinking about play.
Yeah. If you approached me and
you got it.
I found the thought thread again, guys. If you approached me and I wasn't feeling it, having nothing to do with you, but let's say It's day 70 of 75 hard again, and I'm exhausted. That was like the one time I wasn't, my interest in sex went through the floor at a certain point, because I was just like, I don't have the energy.
I'm just like, how can I support you, babe?
Yeah. And, you know, we talked about it today. I said, well, if I wasn't up to it, I said, I'm really not feeling up to it, but let's go cuddle.
Yeah.
You know, because it's about connection and intimacy, not just sex. And what happens when you get naked with your woman and just cuddle because you really aren't up to it?
You might be up to it.
Sometimes you're up to things you didn't think you were going to be up to. And so it's one of those things that I think men are used to the rejection. Because men have to be the ones to ask them out, you know, typically. Men try to initiate.
Right.
I think we have many guys who take it way too personal because there's 99 reasons a woman isn't in the mood. Only 5 of them have anything to do with him.
And I think that a lot of women take things very personal as well. But again, also, I just want to tack this on there. If she's been in a relationship previously where she experienced that, it can be incredibly difficult to overcome, even in an extremely healthy relationship.
Yeah. So it's not always just you two. She's dealing with her past and having to work through that. So we just thought that was something reasonable that we needed to discuss because we have guys that this topic comes up all the time. Yeah. And we may do another video on nice guys and whining and how attractive that is if she's not in the mood. Have a great week, guys.